I'm already sold on how good this... Wait, hold on. Seems kind of loud. Turn it down a little bit. I am already... Is it? Okay, there's only one. Alright. I'm already sold on this game just based on... This is a really good fucking track. And it's about lesbian detectives investigating like an occult case or something. I don't know super much about this, but it looked really cool. Let's get into it. Happy Lesbian.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati. I mean, yeah. Let's say thanks for... Damn, 25 months. Does that say Nampa? It looks like a Hampa. On an ordinary evening in Nampa, Idaho, a woman is alone in her kitchen, heating up soup on the stovetop for a late dinner. Distracted by the radio and her daily cares, she reaches out for the handle of the pot, forgetting in that moment that the pot has no insulation and that she has taken off her oven gloves. She screams in pain as a stripe burns across her right palm. At that very moment, hundreds of miles away in Maine, her mother is awoken from a sound sleep by mysterious pain in her right hand. Science has no explanation for these events. They would have you dismiss such connections as coincidence. But for just 3 easy installments of $19.95, you too can explore the mysteries. Paranormality, 13th Q Avenue, Ostwick, TA. What is TA? Is that Canadian? Hold on, what is TA? Ta? Anytime I see an abbreviation now, that I don't recognize, I assume it's just Canadian. Hold on. TA abbreviation. Not teacher's assistant, that's not what I'm looking for. TA abbreviation. What are they called? They're not states. Provinces? Places. I guess, I don't know, maybe the story will tell me. Banana. Oh, Banana, was it Eric Banana? Yeah, it was Eric Banana. God, I really like the soundtrack of this game already. I open the office door and make my way inside, feeling unreasonably apprehensive. Hold on, this music, as good as it is, it's kind of loud.
Uig Buanan.
Buenon. I open the door and make my way inside, feeling unreasonably apprehensive. Oh, cute. Hello? Ah, hello, Dan. Glad you could make it. He stands from his desk and walks over to shake my hand in greeting. Hope you found your way in all right, Captain Williams. 3? Power? Ah, yes, the lady at the front desk was very welcoming. She told me where to go. Never been inside a police department before. I never did any sort of crime as a child, and I've been lucky enough never to be a victim as an adult. I'm the sort that usually stays out of trouble. Same. Because of that, and because of history and personal reasons, the idea of the police has always been a little frightening. If I didn't know Mr. Williams already, I'm not sure I would have dared to step inside. It's quieter than I imagined, except for this weird jazz music playing. Cleaner as well, though I wouldn't tell Mr. Williams that. It really looks a lot like any other big office out there, with all the workers in jackets and ties shuffling their papers. I read that sentence weird. And a nice gentleman in the big room asked if I needed help and called me ma'am. Special matters are a requirement in this department, ma'am. Being called ma'am makes me feel like I need to... that cop jazz. You know, the cop jazz that plays in every cop police department. Being called ma'am makes me feel like I need to check my face for wrinkles. I'm not that old. I really like the art in this. It's really nice. I make pouting eyes at him, and he returns a tolerant chuckle. Don't the kids call you that at school? The students call me Miss, there's a difference. Miss Carter for the older grades, Miss Diane for the kindergartners, I generally prefer them. Anyway, I'm only a substitute teacher. God damn, it's fucking going to town on that sax. Anyway, I'm only a substitute teacher. Most of the time it's just me and my writing. Alright, you're an author, so when's your next book come out? Due out? Not for a while, I've got things in the works, but you know, books don't finish themselves overnight. Unless they're haunted. They don't pay for themselves overnight either. 1/3 of the advance when I sign a contract, 1/3 when they accept my manuscript, and the last third doesn't come in until the book is published. I can't control that last part no matter how fast I work. Editing, cover art, printing, delivery, they're all out of my hands. There's a lot of waiting. Since I'm filling in absences, my work with the school system is unpredictable. So is the babysitting. Folks don't need me all the time. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. Timmy's last trip to the vet didn't do wonders for my household budget. Timmy. He's worth every penny, of course, but it was more than I wanted to spend. Coupon clipping can only do so much. Timmy the dog? Yes, my baby, I've got pictures right here. Show me the dog. Yeah! I fished my wallet out of my purse and flipped the plastic protector pages. Look at that smile, isn't he precious? Oh, I remember that little ball of fluff. You brought him over here once or twice when you were Sin Kizzy? Shelty, right? More or less. Never worried that much about pedigree. Timmy's my best friend, that's all that matters. There's a grandma couch. I picked the wallet away and adjusted the strap on my shoulder, getting everything in respectable order. Mr. Williams, I wanted to say, I really appreciate you thinking of me as a source and an expert. Folklore studies so often gets overlooked in terms of its applications. Especially these days with so many police departments turning to con artists and bored housewives who call themselves psychic. Ever since that Allison Mayberry had a vision and told the sheriffs in Montana where they could find this kidnapped little girl, paranormal activity has been all the rage. Every lawn club lady wants to believe her champagne dreams might have some deep hidden meaning. Personally, I think Miss Mayberry just happened to see the kidnapper driving that child around the state in his pickup truck, and when she called in for the reward, she made up the story about a vision so she could drive attention to her fortune-telling business. At work, too, I hear her client list is now like a who's who of Hollywood. Even the government wants her advice on deals and diplomacy. But by now, the Soviets probably have their own Mrs. Mayberry reading tea leaves behind the Iron Curtain to retaliate. This takes place in, like, the 1980s though, I think. So we're talking about Soviets. I'm not being mean, I don't hate Allison Mayberry. I respect her skill at marketing. My agent only wishes I could attract that kind of attention, and of course I'm glad that little girl was saved before something unspeakable had happened to her. Doesn't change the fact that psychic powers are still a bunch of hooey. Glad you're not taken in by all that flim-flam. Actually, Kizzy's taken one of those correspondence courses to get her psychic certificate after high school. Ellipses. She told me that when there's bad juju on a case, it would be dangerous to bring a sensitive on board. Wouldn't want an investigator to wind up possessed by demons. Right. Is it suggesting that I only got this job because an over-imaginative teenager recommended me as the least sensitive expert available? So what exactly is the situation? What is the case? I'll tell you more when Jack gets here. Jack? Jack's the partner you'll be working with in the field to keep you safe. There's that sax solo again. Oh dear, that could be uncomfortable, especially if he's one of those old-fashioned types who thinks ladies should only see a sanitized version of reality. I wouldn't be able to investigate anything that way. But then I don't really... Also, how's my voice over the sax solo? I usually, like, set the audio to be about, like, half, my voice. Hopefully, like, the audio's fine. And you can hear me over this goddamn sax solo. But then I really don't want to get into anything dangerous either. Your job is to be smart and follow orders, so don't get crazy and try to play hero, you hear? Who, me? Because he always said you're much fiercer than you look. Suppose you'd have to be, or you wouldn't last long as a sub. Those kids are gonna be vicious. Oh, they're not... That spooked me in real life. Oh, they're not so bad, even the troublemakers usually just want someone to pay attention to. Oh? There's a sound at the door, probably the the detective that Mr. Williams said was coming. Oh, there she is. She? God damn. I'm gay. Even the music. The door opens and she walks in. She could have stepped right off a recruitment poster. Hey, Casey. Long legs, broad shoulders, black hair, straight and thick and sleek, light brown skin, still untouched by time and scars. Even this seems like theme of sex. She walks like a woman in complete control of her body, never surprised, never vulnerable, very model of a modern warrior. And far too familiar. Jackie. Hello, Diane. Her eyes meet mine, cold and blue, giving nothing away. Happy Lesbian Day. Wait, is there... First of all, let's save real quick before I forget. Is there that thing... Oh, hold on. We're turning off suggestive content. I didn't see that earlier. Mouse free mode fallback font. Hold on, how do I... Okay, that works. I was gonna say, I was like, how do I do that thing where I make the text disappear? Because I want to see her entire... I wanted to see her entire sprite. That is a look. I like... Jacket draped over her shoulders is a look. You two know each other? Yeah, we went to the same college. Oh my word, she's gorgeous. I can't stop staring. Gay. This is so unfair. Not even wearing my cute shoes. Aw. This is already very cute to start. Why should I care what she thinks? I doubt she's even looking. This music just keeps getting louder, hold on. And my shoes, I mean. I know she's looking at me, and I can't look away. She holds out her hand to me to shake, all business. It's good to see you again. Likewise. Well, saves me a trouble of introductions. Let's get down to business to defeat the occult. He brings out a manila folder filled with papers, photographs, and blocky black and white Xeroxes of handwritten reports. Over the past months, there have been several reports of small fires set in wooded areas, never too deep in the backwoods, always near neighborhoods. That just seems like shitty campers. He lays down a map and taps several locations. Look like campfires, but not in any designated camping areas, so people were sent area around to investigate for fire safety. Weather's been pretty wet lately, so the risk wasn't high, but we couldn't count on that. Only you can prevent forest fires. I don't laugh. We figured it was most likely kids or maybe a tramp, and more folks homeless since they slashed the HUD budget. HUD? He runs his blunt fingers over the papers, hunting for some signal in the fringes, and works loose a few sheets with photographs clipped to them. Crew came back, so they found something weird in the fires. Bones, funny symbols, the devil's work. Not everything that falls outside of the Judeo-Christian. That's how the crew told it to me, so that's how I'm telling it to you. I closed my mouth. Now there's this new thing reported. Shops been vandalized, weird symbols painted all over the windows. Owner insisted on cleaning it all up ASAP so it didn't drive off their customers, but we got pictures of what it looked like fresh. Probably want to go talk to her, see if she knows anything. Address and phone number right here. He looks at me, his normally warm eyes serious. You're my expert here. Is this stuff connected? What does it mean? Who's behind it? And how do we make it stop? Y'all know how worked up people can get about witchcraft. We don't want things getting out of hand. He jerked his chin in Jackie's direction. Jack's job is to look official, act tough, ask questions, run any data you need through the system, and keep you out of trouble. Don't take stupid chances, let Jack protect you. I don't want to hear you get yourself shot or stabbed or had some blood cursing your firstborn. I'm sure I'm in safe hands. Wish that were true. Alright then, I'll let the two of you plan out your strategy. Right, Captain. You give Timmy a cuddle for me here. Yes, sir. Mr. Williams. Captain? It'll do. He walks out and closes the door behind him, leaving us in semi-privacy. Sound at least should be blocked, but the glass windows and the walls leave us still in view of other detectives. I suppose the police don't want anyone to be able to move around inside an office undetected. So here we are, just the two of us. Hi. Hi. You're looking well. Sounds brainless, doesn't it? Have you been? Can't complain. I prefer to ask the same question in response, but she says nothing. Is your family well? As far as I know. And again, she stays silent. She doesn't even look at me. Can't believe this. I've suffered through publishing Wine and Cheese nights, my great aunt's birthday party, and even PTA meetings, and small talk was never this excruciating. Well, there's no need for my best manners, is there? Did you know it was going to be me that you were assigned to? Did you know I was here before you walked through that door? Yeah, but I didn't tell the boss I knew you. Do they know that you're... No? I keep thinking that like N's are H's, and I thought she just called me a hoe. Nobody knows. What I expect, really. Mr. Williams is a nice man, but the world is what it is, and in this world, the South is not a safe place to be known as a homosexual. It's hard enough just being a single woman without a man to keep you. Don't worry, I won't say anything. Both have a reputation to protect. Never expected to see you here, though. I didn't think law enforcement was one of your career goals. She looks at me for a moment. Well, things don't always work out the way we expect. We're here to do a job, right? So let's get to it. Right. This isn't about us. It's about solving a mystery and getting paid for it, so I can pay my bills and go on with my life. My life, where I've been doing just fine without her. Let's look at these pictures. She brings out an enlarged photograph of a scene in the woods, an ashy circle that must once have been a campfire with a small blackened skeleton lying among the rocks. This was the most recent sight and the one that really started ringing alarm bells about cultists. Take a look and tell me what you see. Alright. Click on the image to investigate points of interest. You must find all the clues to proceed. If you're using a mouse, go to the game menu and just click free mouse mode. There are, I count quickly, 10 large pieces of paper or cardboard placed around the fire. Maybe brown wrapping paper? It's about the right color and pieces appear to be torn unevenly. Most of the paper pieces have large symbols drawn onto them in thick black marker. Some have smudged out of readability. The ground was probably damp and the water damaged some of the symbols. As Mr. Williams said, the weather's been wet a lot lately. The pieces of paper are weighed down with stones and twigs to hold them in place. I don't know what these mean offhand, but they look Indian to me. I'll copy them down in my notebook so I can look up more information at home. As well as my set of encyclopedias, I have a number of guides to world religion and mythology on my bookshelves. Some of them are left over from my school days, others I bought as resources for my writing. I bought a couple of books on local legends with me to the police department today just in case they were useful, but it wouldn't have been practical to carry the whole collection. I wish whoever took this photograph had thought to move the rocks a little so I could see the symbols more clearly. I did the best I can to draw the symbols, but I know I'm missing bits and pieces. Glad the photographer managed to take in the whole scene, but it would have been helpful if they'd included some notes about the orientation. With some rituals, it takes a difference what you place facing north. The precise position of these symbols might be important to deciphering their meaning. I don't suppose the site's still intact? No, it was all cleaned up. It's not exactly a crime scene, so putting up tape to preserve it would worry citizens for no reason. Do they keep those paper symbols anywhere? Pretty sure they were thrown away. What? Dropping frames. Weird. That was weird. I think we're back? Hold on. Yeah, looks like we're back. Alright. That was weird. I don't know if that came across on the stream. I lost connection for a sec. Alright. Pretty sure they were thrown away. That's a pity. Squint at the scorched bones, 2 legs, a long neck, and a beaked head. Obviously a bird, too big for a pigeon. The beak is too long for a chicken and too short for a seagull. I think this is a duck. Jackie leans over her arm, brushing mine. She doesn't seem to notice. Yeah, probably, but I'm not an expert. Might have been someone's dinner, and they could have thrown the leftover scraps in the fire to clean them up. Or perp roasted a duck and ate it, the bones would be more scattered, and even over a campfire, you wouldn't cook the head. You've done this? Camping? Yeah. She doesn't offer any details. Okay, so someone managed to burn a whole duck. Must have been already dead when they brought it here. I don't like to think about a poor little duck being burned alive, but even if someone were that twisted and mean, they would need a cage hold in place, wouldn't they? It's possible that it was a pet that died and they were giving the funeral? Poets say the souls of loyal pets cross a rainbow bridge to a meadow just outside of heaven to wait for us. A funeral pyre might connect to Viking traditions, but Bifrost, the burning rainbow that leads to the realm of the gods. Some on the ground don't look like Futhark runes, though. Suppose it's more likely it was a sacrifice. That's what we're worried about, blood sacrifice. Animal sacrifices aren't always about negative energies. Incense, valuables, and food are often burned to give them to deities. Because the burnt offerings disappear and the smoke drifts away, it's like they've been taken up in the hands of God. Oh, interesting. Okay, I never thought about that. Were none of these burnt offerings people? Not usually. These fire incidents keep occurring. We have to worry what they might burn next. Right. Two large logs are placed at the edge of the clearing. They look like they might make nice places to sit and watch a fire burn. There's nothing occult or suspicious about the logs, but they do suggest that this was a regular campfire area being used, or at least a part of a park that expects visitors to come and have a seat. What else? What else? The lines? Yeah. There's straight lines on the ground radiating outward from where the fire was to the edges of the cleared space. Someone must have stabbed a tool or a large stick into the damp ground and dragged it outwards. Again and again. Each line is a couple of feet long and doesn't show much wobbling. Must have taken some time to set it all up. Fire is the central circle, and these rays come out like a sun or a wheel. They're both strong, basic symbols that show up in a lot of belief systems. The Wheel of Fortune, or life and rebirth. Wheel of Fortune. The wheels of law and progress, fate and consequences which come back around to themselves. Sun gods are central to many pantheons. There's no life without the sun. Well, the lines might only be meant to connect the fire to these other symbols or draw attention to them. Yeah, one more. Remains of a small fire, smaller than the ones I remember making for s'mores on scout trips. Looks like it was less than 2 feet across. The fire area is surrounded by stones to keep the flames from getting out of control, just like they taught us in scouting. I don't see any tools nearby like buckets or pokers, but the fire starter might have taken those away afterwards. Not much wood left, but it hasn't been broken up and scattered. The fire is probably allowed to burn itself out, or almost out, and then watered. Fire holds a central place in the majority of religions, so the presence of a fire itself doesn't point in any specific direction. Fire can be used to burn incense or sacrifices, to provide protection, to stand in as a representation of divinity or truth, to focus meditation, or just to provide heat and light during a ceremony. For that matter, a campfire can just be a campfire. It doesn't have to be anything occult at all. For mystical clues, I need to look elsewhere. Ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da. I think that's all I can work out from this scene right now. Put the photograph back into the folder. Any initial conclusions? Well, no, not so much, other than whoever did this didn't want to start a forest fire. Why do you say that? Well... lands on the ground, fire itself. Look at the fire. It's completely surrounded by rocks with bare ground around that, just the way they taught us to make campfires when I was little. That's how you keep a fire under control. Ooh, jazzy. That's how you keep a fire under control and the fire is managed safely. Didn't the captain say that this wasn't a camping area? If that's true, then whoever made the fire had to set it up themselves. Whatever they were doing, they weren't trying to start a bigger fire. Sounds reasonable. You should look at the next scene. Right, the store. I looked down at the introductory notes. The Lucky Penny. I've never heard of it, at least not that I can remember, although the map in the file folder shows it's only a little ways from a nice little shopping street where I found a cute dress once. Fortunately, a block or two can make all the difference when it comes to how desirable a location is. These shop names sounded distinctly off-brand, probably small and run down. Oh. Photographs focus on the window graffiti, so I can't get a good view of the area or tell what the shop sells other than the jewelry displays right behind the glass. And I think there'd be a lot of high-end jewelry for sale in the neighborhood, so it's probably a small local designer. Maybe the owner is the artist? In any case, it's obvious why the owner was so upset about the vandals, and even in a bad neighborhood, being marked up like that can't be good for business. What clues are here to tell me about the culprit's motives? Is it just each individual finger? That'd be funny. This is strange. There's symbols all over his hand, and they look like alchemy symbols, but they're the wrong symbols, and they're in the wrong place. Are they wrong? Palm readers have a lot of tradition about naming parts of the hand so they can talk about the differences between them. The mount of Venus, the planet of Mars, the finger of Jupiter. I know what the symbols look like and where they should be placed on the hand. These are totally different. Can't read all of the symbols inside what all the symbols inside the fingers are. They're too messy. I don't have every single alchemy symbol memorized, so I don't know what all of them mean, but I do recognize these triangles with the lines through them. Those are the 4 classical elements: earth, air, fire, water, heart. And that's not what's supposed to be drawn inside a hand. Also, the palmistry symbols are always drawn inside the finger shapes, not over them. This setup is more like a hand of mysteries, except then there would be a fish. Jackie blinks a few times, but doesn't ask about the fish. I sketch as many of the symbols as I can into my notebook book for later reference. It's a large eye symbol in the center of the palm. An eye inside a hand would usually be a hamsa, a protection symbol from the Middle East. It's meant to ward off evil forces. So it's not an evil eye? Hamsa is an anti-evil eye. But that's always to take down the right hand, not the left. Putting it on the left hand would mean a reversal. Unless it's meant to be seen from the opposite side, because it's on a pane of glass. So it is an evil eye. It might be? Try to remember. The eye inside the hand was also used in the Mississippi culture. It might represent a portal to the other world. Marking this door as a portal to another realm be a good thing or a bad thing? Really can't tell what this signifies. Head on the window is made with some dark reddish substance. It doesn't look like paint. It's far too thick and clumpy. I thought that's a dumpy for a second. And there's no running grips. Instead, there's a single splotch over to the side of the main pattern. Possibly that's where the vandal tested their materials before starting to create their larger hand. It does look like a deliberate design at least. Makes it easier to focus on the substance itself. Is this blood? Downside seemed that it looked like some kind of blood paste. Didn't smell like makeup. They took a sample for the lab before the site was cleaned up. Test results aren't back yet, so we don't know if it's blood. And if it is blood, we don't know if it's human. Duck blood. There's lots of ways to make a red paste, I'm sure, but that blood color is very unsettling. She already talked about the elemental symbols, but does that count as another thing again? No, it doesn't. I already got the tips of fingers. What else is there? What's this? What's that? These. I already got the tips of fingers. Where are the other... I'm glad I'm not getting penalized for this. Just gonna click all over the place now. I don't know where it is. So we got the tips of the fingers. We already got that. We got like the symbols outside. We got the earth, wind, and fire. Got the eyeball. Got the pest symbol. It's an outline in the shape of a hand. Slightly, oh, the hand itself. Okay, that's fair. It's an outline in the shape of a hand, slightly similar to the ones you'd see on signs that advertise palm reading services. These lines mean the palm is facing forward, so it's a left hand. That could mean the left hand path, dark magic, or breaking taboos. In palm reading, the left hand also means hidden potential or unchanged fate. The right hand is supposed to reflect what you're chosen for yourself, and the left hand is your original destiny. You'd let fate carry you along. It's still nonsense, but I appreciate that palmistry has some respect for people choosing their own futures. This just sounds like someone who's like a very amateur cultist. And they're just kind of fucking it up every step of the way. And upraised palm also means stop, so it could be a warning. Point your finger on this hand is longer than the other fingers, which isn't right. Fingers don't look like that, at least not usually. It could be trying to draw attention to something, or representing the power of an idea, or it could mean weight. Or it could just be sloppy painting. I think that's all I can work out from this scene right now. So what do you think? About the case? She raises an eyebrow. Of course, about the case. Well, so far it looks pretty eclectic rather than any clear tradition. There's a lot of symbolism, but it's not matching up. I don't think I can draw any conclusions yet about what sort of person or people might be involved. I need more information. Point to the photo of the shop. When did this happen? A couple of nights ago. The owner, Jolene Wilcox, called in first thing in the morning when she came by to open up for the day. No witness reports, so it could have happened any time after closing the day before. Do you know what the shop sells? The papers say knickknacks? I could cover quite a range. Fingor. There's a clue. Do you think we could visit? I'd like to see the store for myself. The hand, it's Fingor's. She might know things she hasn't thought to mention. Sure, I've got the Lucky Penny phone number. Do you want to call? You're more... She hesitates. Friendly sounding. I wonder what you originally meant to say. You're the official representative. She'll take you more seriously. And I'm better at making friends in person than on the phone. I find it's a lot easier to make a good impression when I can see someone and smile at them. On the phone sometimes I sound too much like a little girl. Alright. She picks up the phone, holding the receiver pressed between her ear and her shoulder, and dials the number. I find myself staring at her finger as it moves around and around the rotary dial, almost hypnotically. Suppose the department hasn't upgraded their equipment for years. Most offices have touch-toned phones by now, so they can program in a few numbers for easy redial. But then what most people want to dial quickly is the fire department or the police. If you already are the police, who do you want to call? Hello, is this Miss Wilcox? Hi, my name is... I look away, trying not to make things any more awkward than they already are. She's so poised? Is that the word I would use? For describing the scene? She looks confident, professional, like she completely fits in her attire. This is a good soundtrack. I'm always a slow for jazz. Just like smooth jazz like this. I just don't mean that the clothing fits her well, though it does. But that she looks consistent. Everything fits together, her face, her clothes, her attitude. She looks comfortable in her skin, like a person who knows where she belongs. Compared to her, I feel like a child wearing my mother's dress and high heels, still desperately trying not to tip over when I walk. Didn't think I'd ever see her again. I certainly never expected to see her like this, a professional whose hair is longer than mine. But now that I have, can't imagine her any other way. Jackie hangs up the phone. She doesn't want us to disturb the customers, but she says we can come by at 5 when she's closing up. So we got a bit of time then. It's only mid-afternoon. What am I supposed to do? Go home and then come back? That seems like a waste. She stands there watching me. I have to say something. So, have you seen Carol recently? Carol? Oh, Carol. Oh, that's been a while. I haven't heard from her since... Last I knew she wanted to join the Air Force or something. No idea if that ever worked out. Pity. It's a pity that didn't even mean anything to you. Anyone else, I mean, in your life? No, I'm not in a relationship. The job that gives me purpose. Family. I don't have time for anything else. I wait for a moment, but she doesn't say anything more. She doesn't ask about me. Well, fine, she doesn't care. We're here for business and nothing more. I can be a mature adult about this. I'm sure you have other cases that could use your assistance. Is it alright if I sit here for a bit to read the rest of this file and go through my books and notes? You have to give me an overview, but there's a lot of background information in the folder that I haven't read yet. That's fine. Call me if you need anything. There's coffee and water down the hall. I wrinkle my nose. Still hate coffee? Sorry, it's just nasty. It's so bitter. It tastes like you've burned the water. Same though. I can't really drink coffee. I'm glad I found gamer subs as an alternative. Genuinely. Cause like, if I drink coffee, I just have to like put a bunch of flavoring shit in there. Cause I can't stand bitter tastes. Also, I don't really drink like alcohol that often. She shakes her head with only the faintest smile and leaves. She always drank too much coffee, especially after a late night. I remember... We met in college. Good old Tiger State. Go Tigers. Since neither of us could have afforded a private university, it was public in-state tuition or nothing. That's not unusual. There were literally thousands of other freshmen in the same situation every year. There's nothing special about it. Purely by chance, we were both assigned to the same English composition section in our first semester. It was a required course, not something Jackie signed up for. High school education can be very uneven, so the university wants to ensure every student can read and write and put together a basic essay before they're allowed to progress. Is that not like... I mean, that's pretty normal, yeah? You have like gen eds. I think I'm trying to get rid of that, which is like, that doesn't make any sense. When you take a couple thousand freshmen and split them into sections, the sections are so enormous. I don't know how many other students were in our class, but there were a lot, and I never knew them. I wouldn't even recognize them the next year. Class isn't how we met. The TA for our composition section, that's teaching assistant, a grad student who does scout work. Is that a... what? What is scout work? Scout work? Oh, I learned a new word today. Scout work, tedious or menial work. Yeah, that's what TAs do. That's a new one for me. Recommended that we students attend a poetry reading one evening to enhance our understanding of the subject. I went because I was interested in poetry and writing. Jackie went to get extra credit to save her grade, and that's why I first really saw her. Oh god, I'm so... hold on. I need to figure out, how can I look at the... I want to look at the entire CG, how do I do that? About? I want to look at the art. That's not it. Alt, tab. Control. Something's like fast forward and I don't want to do that. How do you... It's usually like a universal button to like look at just the CG and Ren'Py. I don't remember how to do it. I'm genuinely surprised because most games, like, they want you to see the entire CG, so they let you do that. Hold on. Oh, I can't search for that because that's just people asking about how to like program that into their own games. H? Oh, there it is. This is 100% the kind of girl that I would like have a crush on from afar, but I would be too nervous to talk to. In those first moments, I hadn't even known she was a girl. I'd never seen a girl like that, with hacked off hair and spikes and a big leather jacket. Never saw that in Sunday school. Oh, cute. That's a really cute CG. Despite our differences, or maybe because of them, we made friends. Opposites attract, right? I was fascinated by her and she was tolerant enough to indulge me. She stuck me into a bar, not to drink, just to see what it was like inside, and taught me to play pool. I told her what I thought were funny stories from my high school history class, and she listened. Went to a Joan Jett oh. Fucking actual real-world references. Went to a Joan Jett concert together, it was amazing. I'd never heard such noise, not just the singer and the band, but the crowds and the energy. I couldn't sleep that night, I was still so excited. Saw lights flashing every time I closed my eyes. It took me over a year to realize I was in love with her. It seems so obvious now, but I'd never fallen in love before. I didn't know the signs. I didn't know that sort of thing was possible between girls. I didn't have any way to recognize what I was feeling. All I knew was that I wanted to be around her as much as I could, and that even when we were together, I wanted something more. My student dorm didn't allow visitors after dark. One night I was coming home from a late study session and saw a couple kissing goodbye outside. I looked at them and the thought flashed in my mind, I want Jackie to kiss me like that. It's when I started to understand how I felt and who I was. Of course, in that first moment I was confused and desperate and worried something was wrong with me. I even considered the possibility I might be possessed or haunted by the ghost of some man, and that's why I was drawn to a woman. Okay, weird. It sounds ridiculous, but I didn't know how else to explain those feelings. After I accepted that it was just me, it took a while, but I finally found the courage to confess my feelings to Jackie. I was afraid she'd be disgusted or insist that I needed therapy. Soon I found out that she'd had girlfriends before, that she thought I was too normal and pure to ever entertain such an idea. From that point on, my whole world changed. She taught me how to please women, starting with myself. I didn't even know that much. There was no such thing as sexual education in my school. It just wasn't talked about. I had no idea how much I'd be missing. I wonder if like the CG changes, because I did turn off the suggestive CG on this. I wonder if there was that. Hold on. It probably didn't change the CG. I'm genuinely curious now. I might do another run of this like off stream just to see what the like suggestive content, quote unquote, is. We were young and in love. We went to art galleries, watched fantasy films, and imagined ourselves on heroic adventures. We fit together perfectly like interlocking crystals. Next semester, we managed to arrange student housing together so that we could be roommates. And they were roommates. No more visiting restrictions, no one to question the time we spent with each other. Our own perfect little world, where nothing could touch us. The foundation for the rest of our lives together. At least that was what I believed at that time. We didn't take the same classes, we always had our own schedules, our moments of separation. I didn't want to be controlling and demand that she spend all her time with me. But Jackie started staying out later and later. She never wanted to tell me where she'd been. And when I wanted to talk about our future, it all fell apart. But that's behind us now. It's ancient history. Not the sort that leaves temples and mythologies, it's just over. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I've kind of just had relationships that were like nice starting out, like, or like great starting out, and then kind of just, I don't know, petered out. It happens sometimes. Here and now we have work to do. Pick up the folder and set myself to reading. Sometime later I hear the door open. Diane, what are you still doing here? I was just reading. Jackie said it would be alright and... Sorry, this is your office, isn't it? I'm in your way. Well, I'm not always here, you know, but my files are. I didn't snoop in anything. I shouldn't, Mr. Williams, I promise. They're gonna call me Captain here. Right. Where is Jack, anyway? Oh, well, he made plans to visit the Lucky Penny, but the owner doesn't want us there until closing time, and that's not for over an hour. So I thought it'd be a waste of her time to sit in here with me, and she probably has other things to do. What about the waste of your time? I suppose that the police are paying me to investigate. They want me to do more than sit here and read. Not sure what else to do other than read. There's no specific signature on these files to follow, not yet. Why don't you two drive out to the site of the latest fire and see if you can draw any conclusions from the area? I thought of that, but Jackie said it had all been cleaned up. However, even if the symbols and lines are gone, those logs should still be in place, and from what I can work out from the I cannot read all of a sudden. Those logs should still be in place, and from that I can work out the orientation of the symbols in the photo. You're right, that's a good idea. Might have thought of it earlier if I hadn't been knocked off balance by being in a room with Jackie after all these years. Well, I can't let my issues stand in the way of getting this job done. Thank you, Captain. I'll go find Jackie. I stand up to head back into the main building and pause. Where's her desk? Pretty sure she doesn't rate an office of her own. I'll show you. Cute. After I find Jackie, we head out back together to take her car. Not a fancy police cruiser, just a car. Slide into the passenger seat, place my bag neatly on my feet, then brush down my skirt to avoid wrinkles. There's a faintly familiar smell lingering inside, the one that becomes clear when Jackie reaches over to extract a pack of cigarettes from the glove compartment. Pushes in the cigarette knob, waits a few seconds for it to pop back up, pulls out the lighter, and presses it to the tip. Sorry. She kicks the handle to roll down the window and blow her smoke outside. Trying to quit. Why? I thought you enjoyed it. I certainly didn't. I watch the news, you know. Cancer's hell. I don't want to do something that's gonna get me killed. But you became a police officer. That's different. Yeah, we get injured, but there's fights. Even if you're mostly a detective, sometimes you get into a mess. EMTs have it worse. Their job is always an emergency. If we get hurt, we don't usually die, and it's for a cause. She flaps the smoke away from us. This is just a waste. I turn my head away, hunting for a distraction. I can't see zooms anymore without it feeling like a comedic effect to me. My eyes fall on the chart hanging from the rearview mirror. It's a gold wire pyramid with a reddish-orange banded stone hanging in the center. Is that sardonyx? Yeah, it's a charm against theft. So do I need to believe in all that stuff? Not really, but you know, any edge is a good edge. What's it gonna hurt? Besides, you get a discount on your car insurance with an up-to-date feng shui test. True enough these days, I still think it's ridiculous. A polished bit of rock has no power to dissuade thieves. Unless, of course, the thieves share the same superstition, or are sworn to a guild which artists to spare any citizen who displays the correct signs and pays their protection money. But thieves' guilds, like magic stones, are only found in fantasy. Come on, let's roll. Pull out the map so I can see which way to go. I grab the city map from the glove compartment and unfold it onto my lap, comparing it to the information from the manila folder. Oh, that's right, by the Botanic Gardens. I haven't been there since I was little. Just tell me which road to take. Right. Oh, is this like a transit? Okay, I was like, do I have to click on anything? Jackie parks her car at the entrance to the Botanic Gardens. Wait here, I'll get us in. Don't I need to pay for my ticket? No, this is an active investigation. We're doing a job. There's no need to charge us admission. She walks to the ticket window, pulling her badge out of her pocket. I suppose she's right. You don't make the plumber buy a ticket in order to get in and fix the pipes. We're here to examine a scene, not to take advantage of the gardens for a cheap date. Of course, it is a lovely day, and we're not really expecting to find much in the way of clues. Most of what we'll get from this visit is a pleasant walk. I don't want to accidentally encourage police corruption. Maybe I'll send them a donation later. Alright, it's taken care of. Either way. Me? You're the expert here. Not an expert on parks and gardens. No, but you're trying to get into these people's heads. You can recognize what might matter to some cult or whatever. Just point out anything that catches your interest. Ask any question you want. Right. He's trying to be helpful, I think. Okay, follow me. I don't really know my way around here, so the first thing I do is check out the map of the gardens posted just past the entrance gate. If I understand the layout correctly, the site where the mysterious fire was set is in the woods deep inside the property, a ways walk from here. Those woods in the nearby lake aren't part of the formal gardens, but going through the gardens is the only official way for the public to access the area. Looks like there's another driveway for service vehicles somewhere on the other side of the block, but otherwise the whole area is bounded by walls, hedges, and chain-link fencing. When was the fire here set? While the gardens were open, was it? Well, we don't know the time exactly, but the site wasn't discovered until morning. Probably happened after hours. The entrance gate would be locked after hours, wouldn't it? Do you think they climbed over to get in? Parking in the main lot at night when it should be empty might attract attention, and it's not very close to where they were going. Look at the map again, and noting all the ways the garden paths fork and twist. Even now in the daylight, it'd be easy for us to miss a turn and end up in the wrong place. Unless someone knew this area really well, it'd be hard to reach that clearing from here in the dark. Someone who worked here would know the way, but we don't have any reason to suspect that, especially since this wasn't the only fire, just the most recent one. Fire clearing's not that far from the south fence. You could have climbed somewhere along the block and climbed over there. Sure that it's a short distance on the map, but it also looks like untouched forest in that patch. Branches, brambles, leaves, mud. The ground was wet that night. They came crashing through the woods. Might have left a trail? Could be four. Could be footprints or torn bits of fabric, or maybe items that fell from their pockets and they missed in the dark. Probably too late to find anything like that now. Oh. That's right, the fire was last week or thereabouts, and the police already checked the area when they took the photographs. Any clue in the woods would have either been found already or be trampled up by now. It's a good thought, though. Right. She's trying to spot me. I had to show better manners. Let's go see what we can see. Steer away from the children's nature exploration zone past the wildflower field towards the stream. A tiny wooden arch bridge painted red crosses over the rocky water. Beyond that, there's a hill covered with daffodils and a trail lined with blooming dogwood trees, but we don't turn towards the flowers. Follow the pebbled path to its end and continue on fainter dirt trails, away from gardens and into the woods. Walk a little further and then Jackie raises a hand. There, I think that's the spot. Up ahead I see a clearing with 2 logs sitting on the grass. There's no fire circle and no spoked wheel dug into the dirt, but there is a large area of torn up ground where the evidence might have been wiped away. I don't see any trail trampled through the woods either, but that doesn't matter right now. Stand beside the disturbed earth and take in a slow, quiet breath, letting the atmosphere wash over me. It's peaceful here, far enough from the big road that I'm not hearing a lot of traffic noise, just trees. A nice place to have a picnic. Wouldn't be so quiet at night in summer when the bugs are out and the air thaws all around you, but when the weather is cool and wet like it has been, then that would be a cascade of drips. Not cascade of drips and rustling. What would it feel like creeping around here in the dark with mischief in mind, trying to move by stealth over uncertain ground, not knowing who might be on watch, every second of possible danger? If it was a cloudy night, the darkness of the trees might have been almost opaque. Would the culprit, or culprits, have risked a flashlight? Or did they have to feel their way along, stumbling through plants and branches in quest of solid ground? I don't know how many people are involved. Struggling alone in the dark could be terrifying, but in a group, that might transform into a sense of adventure. A challenge or a dare, perhaps? An initiation? Hold on. Oh, I feel like I've got a sneeze. One member to build the fire while the others led the way and kept watch. An orchestrated ritual, each participant drawing a line in the dirt. That would mean 10 people though, and that seems like too many to pass through the woods without doing permanent damage. Fewer than that, I think. Maybe even just 1. Somehow, someone built a fire out of wet wood in the dark, set it alight, and then roasted a duck carcass over the rocks. Did they sit, then went and watch it burn? Did they pray or chant? Were they frightened, desperate to get away, or exhilarated by the blaze? I hear Jackie stepping close behind me, my shoulders immediately tense. For a moment, I'd forgotten she was here. Picking anything up? Not psychic, you know. No, but you might have good intuition. So many people think they have intuition when all they have is imagination. I see. Did I snap at her just then? I didn't mean to. I was just trying to picture what it would have been like here at night, that's all, to see if that viewpoint would open up any new possibilities. And did it? Not really. Feeling uncomfortable, I reached for my notebook. I wanted to come here to check the orientation of these logs so I could update my notes about the layout of the symbols. You have a compass? Compass? What for? To tell which way is north. You know, what compasses do. This afternoon, just look at the sun and shadows. I know about east and west, but the sun doesn't set perfectly to the west, you know. Doesn't? No, it depends on your location that time of year. I don't remember all the details without looking it up, but I know if it can be north or south of east. Oh, interesting. I didn't think of that either. Well, it's close enough, isn't it? Details matter. The precise ritual meaning. I cut myself off. It's obvious that she doesn't have a compass, and complaining about it isn't going to change the facts. I just have to work with it. Well, if I marked down the sun's position at this exact time, I might be able to work out the true orientation later if it's important. So yes, it's close enough. Good. Check my wristwatch. Took longer to walk here than I thought, and copied the time down in my notebook, along with a quick sketch of the site as I see it. Certainly no artist, but even squiggles can help show what stood where. While I'm here, I'm making other notes of little details. Photographs couldn't tell me. Bird song, tree shapes, everything I can see and hear from this location. I can hear Jackie shifting from foot to foot. Look, I just want to say that I'm sorry. Huh? Sorry, I don't have a compass. Oh. I mean, that's not important. I'm supposed to be assisting you and you asked me for something and I couldn't provide it. It's fine. If there's anything else you'd like me to do, if you want me to search the woods or check the fence or... Really, it's fine. I'm not gonna give you a bad grade. What? Never mind. Actually, we should probably get going. I don't think there's anything else to find here. I'm not sure there's anything to find here at all. I'm more interested in what we'll discover at the Lucky Penny. Oh, right. Do you remember the way back? Of course. Then lead the way. Alright. She walks ahead of me. I pause for a moment, taking a last chance to just survey the scene. I know forests don't really have a spirit, but I'm glad that whatever happened here didn't do any serious damage to this place. It's beautiful and it deserves to be appreciated. Coming here was mostly busy work, but it wasn't entirely wasted. Better hurry back to the car. Yeah, save. Second, pulls up along the side of the road and switches off the engine, letting the car settle into silence. The street itself is quiet, although I can see some activity off in the distance. I think there's a restaurant down that way. Could be a lot of students in this neighborhood, but these particular shops are more on the outskirts and slightly run down. Not as many people walk out here. On the other hand, it's closing time now. Closing time. It may have been busier, early in the day. Get out of the car and close the doors. Charming, huh? Nothing residential, definitely no surveillance cameras, no night witnesses. Guess it'd be easy for a vandal to strike. Or a burglar if they thought anything was worth taking. But the shop wasn't robbed, so... There you are. A harsh voice suddenly cuts into my thoughts. Turn to see an older woman, her face already half stiffened into a scowl. A cloud of hairspray surrounds her, holding her fitted blonde tresses in position as surely as if they were wired in place. It's not charitable, she reminds me straight away of the lunch lady at my old high school. A horrible woman who had no sympathy for anyone who'd forgotten their food or thrown away their retainer. Try to control my flinch and let out a bright smile on my face. This must be the Leggy Penny's owner, Jolene Wilcox. Hello, Miss Wilcox. My name is Diane. This is my friend Jackie, whom you spoke with on the phone. You people are always too late. Didn't want us to come any earlier in the day. Well, she may be determined to be difficult, but she has a right to be upset after what happened to our store. She's probably frightened, not knowing who's responsible or why, or what else the vandals might do to her. Thank you for taking the time to... I had to spend my own money cleaning up that mess, you know, my own money. What are my tax dollars for, huh? So who's supposed to help me now? Are you fixing to stick around and guard this place overnight like I asked for? I really don't think that's necessary, ma'am. That was probably an isolated incident. Isolate my ass. We're doing everything we can to look at the person or persons responsible and see that they're held accountable for their crimes. Got a few questions for you, but do you mind if we take a look around first? That's what y'all are supposed to be here for, isn't it? I guess we'll get on with it. Dial up the smile as brightly as I can. Thank you, we'll do our best. She snorts. Finally, we manage to bypass the Minotaur and enter the maze itself. It's a lot of junk, not really antiques, just stuff. Old, used, a little bit dusty. The whole place smells like a mix of potpourri and mildew. If I'd been expecting a hidden trove of golden treasures and mystical artifacts, I'd be disappointed. As it is, simply confused. What drove a vandal to target a place like this? Jackie turns in slow circles, apparently uncertain what to look at. Not sure how we're going to find any clues here. Seeing it at a loss stiffens my spine. I pull out my notebook. Can do a quick catalog. Not everything here, obviously. Not getting a feel for the kinds of things this place sells. That might tell us something about... But getting a feel for the kinds of things this place sells. That might tell us something about who visits the shop. Be my guest. 8 clues. What are these? There are a number of glass discs hanging in the window. A black dot in the center is surrounded by light blue and white to represent an eye, surrounded by darker blue. These are Nazar charms. They're good luck. They ward off the evil eye. Probably a popular gift item. The store certainly has enough of them. Does that have anything to do with the evil eye that was painted on the window? I'm not sure that was an evil eye. Charms are visible through the window from outside, so there might be some connection, although they probably weren't visible at night when the graffiti was painted, since the window would have been dark. Anyway, I'll mark them on the list. There's a jewelry display set up in front of the window, and a larger case in the center of the store, as well as a few baskets and swivel stands here and there. I assume the most valuable items must be the ones protected by glass, but it all looks like costume jewelry and folk art to me. There's a bracelet made of individual shiny black stones the size and shape of the pellets on a candy necklace. There's a necklace whose pendant is a thin circle of green crystal shot through with black lines almost like a sunburst. There's a ring with a clear faceted stone set in deep so the top of the stone is flush with the metal of the band. The stone sparkles less that way, but it also won't catch on things so much, and it's more practical. There's a tray of birthstone jewelry set out in grade by month, modified to be the cheapest versions of the possible stones. Unlike most of the items, these are clearly new. You can find a tray just like this in any department store's little girls section. I wonder how many little girls come in here. For now, I'll write down jewelry, comma, various. There's several large metal filing cabinets in the store. I pull open a drawer to peek inside. Plastic pages, each with a sleeve to hold a paper card. Baseball cards? I'm sure some of these are worth money, but I don't know anything about the sports or the players. I guess collectors like them. I'll mark them on the list. It's a lucky, lucky penny. He said? Snow globe? Bookshelves? Oh! A small number of old books near the front and a much larger collection lining the back wall. If there's any organization, I'm not seeing it. There's some cookbooks, a field guide to edible wild plants, a book of baseball legends for children. Oh. I was like, baseball legends? I was like... I don't know why baseball legends just like evoked the idea of like... I don't know, David and Goliath, but baseball or something? I don't know. Like baseball in ancient times? Oh, an Enchanted World book about alchemy, I've seen these. They're not as comprehensive or reliable as the folklore guides I own, but they have nice pictures and they make the history of magic more accessible to young readers. Well, the history of human belief in magic anyway. That's the only thing that's real. Camelot never existed, but the legend of King Arthur still has effects throughout time. Of course, magic is out of fashion now in favor of psionic phenomena and anything that sounds halfway scientific. I don't think there's anything important here. I'll just say books for my list. Boat? How are there 4 things I haven't... Nope. There's a collection of old toys shown under a table. From the price tags, they appear to be mostly worthless. Nothing really stands out other than the Twisty Cube, which I was never any good at solving. The store sells toys, so it might attract children or parents. That's all I can say about that. Oh yeah, there's a Rubik's Cube right there. Are there 3 more things? Is it like another page? No. Cluster of small flower pots on the floor, kind meant for putting plants on desks or kitchen countertops. Some are plain terracotta, but others have been painted with simple cheery designs: suns, flowers, sleeping dolphins, the sort of things you'd find decorating children's rooms. They're cute, if I had any plant to put in them. Really more of a dog person than a plant person. Plants are too quiet. But then, that's probably what some people want. There's some other vases, dishes, and crockery around too. I'll note them for my list. There's a bunch of old National Geographic magazines on one side of the shelves, some filed quickly and others stacked on their sides. My dentist used to get these. I always loved looking at the pictures. So much color. The top issue on the stack has a cover featuring a strange golden mask, probably the death mask of a Mycenaean king. This must be for collectors. I'll let them on my list. heck else do I have to click on? Just literally one more thing. Okay, got the toys, got the plants, got the vinyl candles, got the jewelry. Surprisingly, these photographs aren't anything. Tea set, bookshelves, vinyl cabinets, box, penny, light, ceiling, window, light, chairs, shave and a haircut. What am I missing? Oh! It's the thief thing, or the anti-theft magic thing. Around the store, a variety of gold-wired pyramids have been placed on top of empty surfaces, each one with a different colored crystal hanging on the center. I was gonna say, this one looks blue, this one is purple. Most of them aren't really crystals though, but stones tumbled smooth and shiny. These look like that charm you have in your car. Well, I didn't buy mine here. I didn't think so. I see these in stores all over the place. It's probably a factory in Taiwan churning them out. Each crystal is meant to have a different vibration, so the color shows what it's meant to affect. Promote love, bring good luck, ward off drunkenness. There's a charm for everything. Not sure how many of the purchasers would know which stone traditionally meant, not without the cards to label them though. Oh yeah, there are multiple. What the heck? How did I not notice that a second ago? Oh, they're on my list. Ba-da-ba. That's all I can work out from this scene right now. A lot of stuff in here, but no obvious evidence for why anyone would target this shop. Nobody left a note saying I did it, huh? Sorry. Guess it's not usually that easy, is it? No. I should relax a little. She's not asking me to write Sherlock Holmes overnight. She's actually been pretty sensible. Anyway, I don't see anything obviously controversial. Some thrift stores still do a lot of business in old Jim Crow signs, but there's nothing like that here. I didn't see any hoochie coochie pictures either. No Soviet collectibles, not even much of anything religious. Wonder if Miss Wilcox took anything out of sight. You'll have to ask her. Right. You don't like her, do you? I don't know her. It's my purse, I don't know you. I don't think she responds that well to me. She kept talking over me earlier, and Chucky she treated with more respect. Maybe it's the way she dresses. Didn't your captain say it was your job to look official and ask questions? True. She pushes the door open and holds for me. After you. Once we're outside, Jackie takes a casual stride forward, her hips sitting authority. Miss Wilcox, ma'am? What is it? She turns, taking something away from her hand, a cigarette most likely. You rearranged the store at all since the mandal struck, changed your merchandise, moved everything out of sight? I don't know if I had the time, bad enough I had to clean up that window. Yes, ma'am, sorry about that. You any problem with customers lately? Someone who might have held a grudge against you? Well, now that you mention it. Got a couple of kids in here last week trying to shoplift. Greasy little weasels tried to claim it was an accident, a misunderstanding. Accident nothing. I saw him shove some jewelry in his pocket and trying to walk out the door with it. Grabbed him by the scruff of his little neck and dragged him back. How old a kid are we talking about here? I don't know, teenager. Right, ma'am. It's generally not advisable to engage in physical conflict. We wouldn't want you to get hurt. What, you think I let that piece of trash get away with it? No way in hell, excuse my language. Took my property back from him, put the hello of Jesus into him as best I could, then I tossed him and his friend out and told him never to come back. Guess if I call that a grudge. Yes, ma'am. You don't happen to know the names of those kids, do you? Got a description? Thief was like Puerto Rican or something. Didn't get his name. I had my wince. I doubt she has any idea what a Puerto Rican looks like. About as tall as a little miss, kind of skinny, hair short and black. Little miss? What he was wearing? Any bandanas, purple shoelaces? Nah, no gang colors that I saw. He had his black t-shirt with a skull on it. We're looking skull with long teeth. Friend was waiting outside, probably to pass over the loot. Didn't get as good a look at him. White boy, light hair, maybe blonde, maybe reddish. One of those stupid hairstyles that's short in the front and long in the back. Mullet. Whatever. Did they make any threats when you told them to leave? Did you see them again after that? Nah, they ran off. I don't know if it was those two that messed by my shop. Could have been any punk. Streets are full of them. Well, we'll look into it. Sure you will. We're doing our best to help. I don't care about your best. If you're not arresting anyone, you're not gonna guard my place and take yourselves out of my way. Yes, ma'am. We'll update you if there's any new developments. Yeah, whatever. Jackie bows her head politely to Miss Wilcox and escorts me back to the car. Slide back into our seats, pulling our doors closed. Guess that ma'am really is department policy. Huh? Oh, sorry, it was something Miss Williams, your captain, said to me. Mr. Williams. Thought he was funny when he called me ma'am. He said it was professional matters. Alright, well, we're in stressful situations. Tempers run hot. It's important that we don't rise to it and don't make things worse. I suppose she has a right to be in a bad mood after someone defaced her story. For all we know, she's like that all the time. Doesn't matter. She still has the right to protection to politeness. It's very mature of you, detective. Yeah. Did I say something wrong? Guess we should be getting back to the station now. It'll be time to think about dinner a bit, don't you think? Wait, did I just ask her to dinner? I didn't mean to ask her to dinner. I don't want to have dinner with her. I mean, not really. I mean, I would if she asked. Because polite. Why do I have to be assigned to work with her of all people? A moment feels like talking to an old friend, like we're young again, bouncing banter off each other and everything is in sync. Next moment, it's Backstreet Boys. Next moment, they're sending the gears all stop. Could have been worse. I could have ended up with someone my father's age with a walrus mustache and a thick hand on my... Moving. Sorry, what? Focus, Diane. Must have zoned out for a second. What do you say? Said I have plans tonight, so... Keep you out till late. Oh. She said she wasn't seeing anyone. I suppose she doesn't have to be in a relationship to have plans. Moran reaches for the radio knob, hesitates, and drifts back to the wheel, music untouched. We should get moving. Right. God damn, it's loud. She starts the engine and heads back out onto the roads. I wonder what her plans are for the evening. She probably has women crawling on her hands and knees begging her for attention. Though if no one in the department knows about her, she must have to be somewhat discreet. No, I don't want to know. Parked at the station, right? Can I drop you off there? That's fine. That's good. So I'll call you if there's any new developments. Okay, I'll cross-reference some of these symbols and see what I can get. Yeah. She stares straight ahead, knuckles tiling the steering wheel. I keep my hands flat on my lap. Can't wait to get home. Okay, I'm gonna save here and then I'm gonna take a quick break because I need to get more water. Also, nah, never mind. Okay. Burb.
Do we have any marshmallows? I want to make a s'more. Toasty Toasty Eric.
I realized my transition. I should have changed my transition. It doesn't make any sense, so whatever. Also, I forgot Eric Banana can talk. I just like heard him talking from the other room. It's like, what is that? I came in through the front door clutching a phone bill and 2 ads for yard work that were shoved in my mailbox. Dog. Did I talk about this before? I've been watching too much like Mint and Koki, and they've kind of ruined my ability to say dog normally. It's like D-A-W-G, dog now. Just because of that like Joyzy accent. I can't, I don't know, I just say dog instead of like dog now. Dog.
Dog.
Dog. Woof woof. Timmy. Timmy comes bouncing up to greet me, barking all the way. He's not tall enough to jump up and lick my face, so I do get paws on my legs. Just a minute, let me put down my purse. My work schedule is erratic, so there's no consistent routine. Why does she have, like... Why is there a weird thing to own? Right? And she has two, like, right next to each other, whatever. My work schedule is erratic, so there's no... It has a really nice apartment, actually. So there's no consistent routine for me coming in for him to get used to. Wait, hold on, I gotta look at this apartment. She has, like, so much granny furniture. This is also a really weird ottoman. It's like an apartment. It's like a really nice apartment. He's well behaved by himself, but he's always excited to see me. Bark. And for Timmy, excited means spinning in circles making a noise. Put down my purse in the mail and grab the jar of Jimmy's treats from the closet. Sit. Give me your paw. Good boy. Give him the treat and let him finish that while I turn on the TV. Then I call him over to the couch for petting and snuggles. I will need to take him for a walk in a little bit and then feed him his dinner, but I don't want to rush right back out the door just after getting in. Anyway, petting Timmy is soothing, and I like soothing. He's my perfect little lap fluffy. The television, unfortunately, is less soothing. I'm right in the middle of an ad break. Hot, sweet, sexy. And haunted by a secret that threatens to destroy your family. The one on the screen pumps a shotgun and sneers at the camera. It's one way to chase off family problems, but I never wanted to learn to shoot. The scene changes to show a bunch of sad people crammed into an elevator together. Driven to despair by the new car prices averaging over $13,000. What is this ad? I'm in no position to buy a car no matter how they price it. Next commercial is a series of close-ups of supermodels talking about how great their fancy makeup makes them feel. Oh, these are like different commercials. I thought this was one commercial and I'm like, what? I could get up and change the channel, but then I'd have to move Timmy off my lap. They would have had... I guess the TV is like off screen. But I was gonna say, like, she would have had a television remote in whatever 80s this is, but like... If she has grandma couches, she probably has like an old TV. Maybe, I don't know. We now return until we meet again. Finally, some proper international romantic spy drama to take my mind off things. I wonder if that's an actual movie, because they like name dropped a lot of other stuff. Hold on. Okay. For some reason, when I search for Until We Meet Again, I find, what was the country of origin of this? I think this is Filipino? The thing that comes up is, Until We Meet Again, a Filipino, like, yaoi television series from 2019. I actually remember this, because I think I was still on Tumblr at the time, and people were, like, posting gift sets of this goddamn show. I'm assuming she's not watching yaoi from the future. There's a movie called Till We Meet Again from 1936, but it's probably not it. I think that one's not real. I don't think that's an actual thing. After taking care of Timmy's needs, I make myself a nice pot of stovetop spaghetti. I love spaghetti, but I only eat it when I'm by myself in case I lose control of the sauce. What? I'm by myself a lot though, so it's not much of a restriction. Timmy likes to snap up bits of the dry noodles, but I don't let him eat half very much. I finish my meal, but put the leftovers in the fridge and drop the pot into the sink to soak. And the phone rings. I head over to my desk to pick it up. Hello? Oh, hi. It's my Aunt Agnes. Carefully unkink the coiled phone cord. Go up to the phone cord and it's like, no more feet. Girls tend to get linked into themselves, especially if I'm fidgeting with them, and carry the receiver over to the couch to settle in. I love my aunt, but she's never heard of a short conversation. It's a long distance bill, not mine, so I don't want to hurry her along. I know she's a bit lonely and ranges her budget to make sure we keep in contact. Oh, that's cute. Yes, I'm taking care of myself, just had a home-cooked meal. I literally just like have like literally very short text conversations with my dad, where he's just like, how are you guys doing, how's dinner with so and so, and then I say something and then he's just like, okay, and that's it. No, it wasn't macaroni and cheese. Oh, that's a good idea. I should make a dessert, maybe that spice cake with walnuts. Speaking of, I went to dinner with like my extended family today, and they showed me like this weird like old wives' tale thing, where if you cut a pecan, no, it was a persimmon seed or something in half, and it's like, if it's a spoon, if it looks like a spoon, hold on. I feel like I need to bring up images to illustrate this. Pecan cut. No, persimmon. See, whether now that I'm looking at this again, this doesn't look like anything. Hold on. Where's my stream images folder? How do I have... Okay. I for some reason have like an image source and it's just titled ass and I don't remember why. Hold on. I'm gonna resize this because I think it's gonna be really big. Yeah, it is. There's apparently this superstition with persimmon seeds or something where if you cut it in half, it'll either resemble a spoon, a fork, or a knife. And it predicts the weather or something. So like if it's a spoon, then there's gonna be a lot of snow, I guess. Like the spoon is like a shovel or something. And then if it's like a knife, there's not gonna be that much snow, but it's gonna be really cold because it cuts you like a knife. And then I forget what fork means. Probably mild or something. But now I'm realizing it just kind of looks like that, regardless. That's like barely a fork. It looks more like a spork than a fork. Anyway, I had never heard about this before, and I was shown this today. Can't help it if my metabolism works that way. I do love desserts, but I feel like I'd be spoiling myself if I made cakes too often. Besides, it's a little sad to eat a whole cake by yourself, and cakes not always safe for dogs. Which didn't stop Timmy that one time, but he's better trained now. Oh, you finished the book? What did you think? My eyes stare at the bookshelf where I keep pristine copies of all my published works. Of course, the name on those spines is not Diane Carter. Not exciting enough. Too ordinary. Diane Carter was kind of a cool name. To me. There are a few people here in the South who wouldn't be happy about their children being taught by someone who'd also written sword and sorcery novels featuring women in leather bikinis. Well, the covers feature the leather bikinis. My actual heroines actually wear more armor than that, but my agent insists that the infiltrating a slaver pit looks sells more copies. Alright, is Rosalind Perry, for that delicate taste of old England. The author blurb inside the cover admits that I'm American, but no one actually reads those before buying a book. Only the first impression matters. Hawk? Well, I wasn't planning on him coming back, but maybe. Does she is she writing Berserk? The Band of the Hog? My publisher will not allow me to write scenes depicting lesbian sex, or to put a heroine into a long-term relationship with another female character. But they will let me suggest that encounters have taken place, especially if the protagonist gets something out of it. Secrets, a key to the castle gate, being hidden from soldiers, whatever. So my heroines tend to love him and leave him, men and women both. Hell yeah. I didn't say that, I haven't started the new book yet, but I did start a new, well, not a new job exactly. It's not full-time, it's not even part-time, it's more like a contract, an assignment. I'm an expert opinion on esoteric religion. Finally I get to use the degree for something other than naming priests and demons. Oh, and you'll never guess who I'm working with. Jackie Morales. Jackie Morales is a super cool name. Yes, that Jackie. Aunt Agnes is my only relative who knows and understands about my lifestyle. And they were roommates. Not that it really is a lifestyle. I've been living here alone for... No, I'm not alone. I have Timmy. Can you believe she ended up in law enforcement? If I'd had to bet, I would have put money on her being arrested instead. Would have sounded more likely. I thought she had a juvenile record, but maybe I was wrong, or maybe those don't count. I mean, she's strong and it makes sense that she'd want to protect people. It's just, we were always, you know, protest girls in college. Now here we are working for the department. Yes, I said we. That's who hired me. I told you, I'm their expert on cults. It's not like the days when they used to shoot hippies. It's a whole new system. We're here to solve mysteries. Yes, I remember about the bombing. No one could forget that. The old police up in Pennsylvania got so caught up in consequences for criminals that they dropped a bomb on an American neighborhood. An actual bomb, like we were all afraid the Soviets would do someday. They killed their targets and their neighbors, and their children. A whole block of houses was wiped out. And for what? To punish a few people who peddled crack and didn't pay their rent? How could that be fair? How could anyone justify that? I didn't realize this was gonna take... I didn't realize this was gonna get weirdly political. Oh, they tried. The old guard insisted it was all legally authorized, as if that made a difference to right and wrong, but the news wouldn't let them out of the spotlight, and the tides of opinion turned. Many police departments had to be completely disbanded and rebuilt from the ground up around what should have been their guiding principle all along, to protect the public, not themselves. I don't know how much of a shakeup there was down here, though. I promise I'll speak up if I see someone putting the boot in. Besides, I used to babysit for Mr. Williams' daughter. He's a good man, he keeps them polite, and Jackie's been very professional. No, she didn't say anything about that. No, we didn't really talk about anything personal. Tried to raise the subject just to clear the air, but she pretty much brushed it off. Not rude, just minimal, quickest answer possible, and moving on. Guess it's all water under the bridge to her now. Oh, am I that obvious? I sighed, thumping my head against the sofa pillows. No, it's hopeless. It's been hopeless for a long time. I'm not expecting a miracle. Guess the hardest part is how much she's changed and how much she hasn't. She's this whole new responsible adult that I never predicted, but being with her, I can feel her all the time whenever she was near me. It was like heat on my skin. I couldn't tune it out. I've been so tense all day. Pressed a hand to my forehead. Right, I know. No, I'm fine. I do have work to get done tonight. She's supposed to call me tomorrow. Alright, love you too. Bye-bye. Turned the receiver away from my face and coaxed Demi off my legs so that I can stand to hang up. Then I head to the bookshelves to find my introduction to Tantra. I should start doing some research on those symbols from the fire. But my hand bosses over one of my own novels, The Kingdom of the Sun. Praise the sun! The protagonist is a woman whose village is raised by bandits, forcing her to take up arms in quest of her destiny, all the usual things. Based on the cover is all wrong. The artist went with someone much paler and bustier, but the woman I imagined, the heroine I described, looks a lot like Jackie. Never really let her go, have I? Never expected to see her again. I don't know what I might have thought could happen. I never let myself dwell on it. Did I want her to beg me for forgiveness so we could have a grand romantic reunion? Did I want her to sweep me off my feet? Did I want her to sneer at me so I could unleash every cutting word I've ever wanted to say to her? Well, I was wrong on all accounts. What does she think of me? She doesn't hate me. She doesn't want me either. She doesn't even feel guilty. She acts like everything is fine, like we're just old friends. Maybe this is what I need to chase out the ghosts and hammer the message into every corner of my subconscious. There's nothing there. It's over. I'm a fantasy author. I write adventures and dreams for other people, to take them away from the world for a little while. But magic isn't real and people like me don't get happy endings. At least we get good dogs, don't we, Fluffball? Woof. Yes, you are a good boy, yes you are. At least I'm not alone. In order to unlock your full energy potential, you first have to love yourself. Stand up, wrap your arms around yourself, say aloud, I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be powerful. I can attract the fortune I deserve. For more personal instruction, dial 1-900-555-7792. Calls cost $2 for the first minute and 95 cents each additional minute. Call now. For entertainment purposes only. Achievement. My hand hits the button on the alarm clock before my eyes creak open. Oh, 500, time to get up. Loud. I hit the shower for a quick wash, get the body wet, turn off the water, soap up and rinse off, nothing wasted. How do people shower like that? Wait, I think this is Jackie. In the kitchen I slip a couple of pieces of bread in a toaster and then pour myself a glass of grapefruit juice, because this is a very different, vibe. This is a very damn bitch you live looking apartment. As a kid, I envied families who could sit around a brightly colored box of frosted cereal with magic tricks inside. I tried buying one of the new fruit cereals. It tasted like soap. I'll pass. Was it the cilantro cereal? Breakfast is about putting fuel in your system. You never know when you might need to be ready to run. Yeah, it was Jackie. Can't remember who taught me that. I gulp my jupe and the tartness punches my throat into alertness. I finish the toast, rinse the plates, check for crumbs, roll out. Slide in my car and take a deep breath, centering myself. Then I start the engine and switch on the radio. Waiting for a star to fall. One benefit of having an early start to my day is that the radio stations haven't yet brought on the morning drive time DJs. I like my radio to play music, not bad jokes about how to be manly. All we need... The roads are wet. Rain again. Good, that usually means quiet night. Just like doctors, the best times are when no one needs to see us. Since the restructuring, the new department decided it was bad policy to have too many cops driving their beats in patrol cars. Each stoppers are being bored and spoiling for a fight while keeping them impossible for citizens to approach. Now most beat cops go by foot or bike, with other officers on call at the department where they can drive in with sirens for backup if needed. No emergency means no call out. No call out means once you're done your required exercise and equipment maintenance, you can spend the rest of your shift reading, studying, or watching TV. On-call shifts don't even have to do paperwork since they might need to drop it at a moment's notice. I don't mind doing the detective desk rotation, but I don't know if it's my strength. Sifting through pictures looking for connections, that's not me. I'd rather have it look a suspect in the eye. Most people aren't good liars if you have the guts to hold their gaze. Of course, I'm not most people. I haven't saved in a while. Once I reached the department, I headed to the captain's office to check in. Morning, Captain. Morning, Rallis. Hey, Jack, everything work out okay with you and that teacher? I mean, Diane? Sure, so far. Don't have any suspects yet, but we've got a few leads to follow. Expecting her to have more details later today, but seems to know her stuff. Good, good. You know, I was pretty surprised when it turned out you two knew each other. Never mentioned when I told you about this assignment. A long time ago, didn't seem important. Seems like you knew more about her than I did anyway. Didn't know she was a teacher. Just not think, because you told me she had a feeling about the two of you, like some connection in the spiritual realm. Job has taught me many skills. Hiding my reactions is one of them. Oh yeah? It's because you had any feelings about any lottery numbers? Think I tell you if she did? I hang up my helmet and take the first plane to Rio. I'm not wearing a helmet, Captain. Oh, look, it's funny today, huh? His face sobers. Great, I got some bad news. Well, that's no way to start the morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. Creepy crawly firebugs struck again last night. Another campfire in the woods? Rain, so a little fire shouldn't have been too much trouble. Well, it was in Douglas Woods, but no, this time they set fire to some old shack, set up quite a blaze. I refrained from swearing because I know the captain hates that. True arsonists tend to escalate. Someone burning an old shack now could be setting fire to a church next. This is our caves taking a turn for the worse. Sure it's the same perp? Not yet, that's why I need you and Diane to go to the scene and investigate. This one's fresh, so she might pick up clues the old team would miss. Yeah, makes sense, I'll give her a ring. Look at the wall clock. After roll call. It's up pretty early in the morning, Diane's probably got a school run to make. Scene isn't an emergency or the captain would have contacted me at home. Calling Diane can wait an hour or two. Got her number? What, you spent the day with her and never asked? I knew you'd have it on record. Didn't want to ask her anything personal. Well, write it down this time. Flips to his Rolodex and reads out Diane's name and address for me to jot into my notebook. Now get your coffee and get ready for the briefing. Aye aye, sir. Morning briefing, known as roll call, is an important part of our daily routine. First thing, Captain checks that everyone's present, fit for duty, and all that necessary equipment is in working order. Next, he goes over any major incidents that occurred during the past 24 hours. I feel like there's a lot of, there's a little bit too much fat, I think, in this visual novel. I feel like, goes into a little bit too much detail, which is fine for like if you're writing like more like a novel-esque kind of thing, but I feel like for visual novels you kind of want to keep it a little bit shorter. I would have pared down some of these scenes a bit, I think, personally. Like I like the scenes between, like the flashback between Diane and Jackie, I think was written really well. I think it was paced really well. I think this is going a little bit too long on just like police procedure. Although it's weird because it just feels like those persons are like writing for like, because even the descriptions about stuff for like university is like explaining it to someone who's never heard of university before. It feels like that again, but like for like police procedure, it's like writing for someone who's like never seen like a police procedural type of show or something before. I don't know. It like goes into too much detail about like just assuming that you don't know anything about anything. It's kind of weird. There's a quick cycle around for the detectives to give updates on their active cases. This is mostly to remind us what our colleagues are working on in case there's a connection worth pursuing later. No time for detailed information exchange. No one else's recap mentions fires or occult symbols, so I don't think there's any relevance to my assignment. The meeting ends, I head back to my desk to organize my papers. At last I judge I've waited too long to pick up the phone. Ring several times. Perhaps she's still out? There's a click. Hello? Diane, it's Jack from the station. I mean, I'm at the station. Is this a bad time? No, sorry, my phone doesn't usually ring in the morning. You can hear a muffled yawn. If she drank more coffee, she wouldn't be so tired. Got some updates for you. Fill her on last night's fire and our need to investigate the scene in person. Okay, should I meet you at the station? Why don't I pick you up at your place? Didn't come out right, did it? Captain gave me your oh, blushy. Captain gave me your address and it would save time. Tarka's a lot closer to you than the station. Sure, that's fine. I'll get ready. Alright, see you soon. The receiver back at its cradle. Better consult my map to find the route to Diane's house. The radio blares laughter at me, and I switch it off. There's nothing but the thrum of the engine and the sound of the road under my tires. Diane. Put her out of my mind for years. I never tried to look her up. Be a violation if I'd use my privileges within the police to breach your privacy, but the phone book is free. Maybe she's listed, maybe she's not, I don't know, I never looked. Remember when phone books were, I guess they are still a thing, but like, still. So I didn't think her last name would still be Carter. Well, it's a new age. Time was not so long ago a woman like me couldn't have a job like this. We'll do things differently now. Diane does her hair differently now. Short hair looks good on her, doesn't look boyish at all, highlights the roundness, the softness of her face without making her look delicate. She's not an eager, wide-eyed student anymore. She's grown up. She's even more beautiful. God damn it, I'm gay. It's okay. Still kind of caring, still innocent in her way. Still wanted to save the world with love. Sans figured she would become a school teacher. Sometimes the best of intentions just aren't good enough. That's why the world is people like me to do what needs to be done. Whatever the cost. Pull up outside of what looks like the right address and double check my map. It's not a bad house, but it's smaller than I expected. Oh, it's a house, not an apartment. Switch off the engine. Reluctant to move now, walking across the yard ringing your doorbell feels like an intrusion. Or like picking up a girl for a date, which this isn't. It's a mistake to come here, but it's a mistake already made, so I might as well finish it. Get out of the car and close the door. You can hear a dog barking. Suddenly the front door moves on its own. Hi. She's super cute. That's all I want to say. Diane stumbles out the door, pulling it rapidly closed behind her. She extracts the keychain from her purse, looks like a sanded leather fob, and locks the door, and then drops the keys back into place, straightens her shoulders, and turns to smile at me. I'm ready. I look at her feet and speak without thinking. You're wearing those? What's wrong with my shoes? Going to the woods and it rained last night, so I'm not wearing sandals or heels. Says she's wearing a pair of pristine white tennis shoes with neatly folded over socks and laces so bright they could be fresh from the packaging. It's gonna be mud everywhere, you feel like it dirty. But I don't own any boots. I don't know how to lift stains, you know, it'll be fine. Of course she does, she's probably the perfect housewife. Alright then, come on, blushies. Right. She hurries up to my car, playing on a notebook. Did some research on the symbols you saw in the photograph, the ones that were written on the campfire? The ones on the paper that you said looked Indian? Exactly, they're Sanskrit. So it's writing, what does it say? Not what it says exactly, it's what it means. Difference. The letters are just sounds, but they're placed like petals in a circle. They represent one of the primary chakra. Must have looked blank, she waves her hands. Meditation visualization concept. You picture them as next points within your body where energy gathers, and with yoga you direct that energy to prove yourself. It's a simplification, but it's enough for you to get the idea. I think this is meant to be the chakra Manipura. It means something like City of Jewels and Light. It shines like the sun with orange, yellow, and red, and a triangle in the center to signify the element of fire. Except to put a real fire in the center instead. Does this mean we're looking for an Indian guru or some sort of yoga aerobics instructor? The only Indian mystics I know of are the Hare Krishnas at the airport, and they don't really set people on fire. No, this isn't proper use within the culture. Chakra systems are popular with a lot of esoteric traditions. It's still too early to draw conclusions. She pushes her glasses up her nose and soft little cheeks stretching up as she settles the lenses into place. Same cheeks take on a hint of rose as she catches me watching. Yeah, we should probably look at a new scene, shouldn't we? Yes, it's very reasonable. Leave her alone, she's not yours. I keep telling myself that. I haven't seen it myself yet, only the captain's description. Hop in, let's go. Wet. Park in the woods and walk to where the old shack is located. There's an officer on scene guarding the site where we arrive. He's not from my division. Don't recognize him by sight. He leans against a tree, puffing on a cigarette, paying a little attention to his surroundings. No barricade tape. Suppose it's not worth the effort of winding tape around all those trees. It's not like anyone is murdered. With the earlier fires, the official priority was to get it cleaned up as soon as possible to avoid alarm. There's not a lot of folks around here to be alarmed by anything. The shack itself looks like a wreck, though I can't say how bad it looked before the incident. Not sure what a building was doing all the way out here anyway. This is parkland as far as I know. Could have been a storage shed for the city division, but that's not much of a secure site to store equipment. Might have been something historical. Hope it wasn't important. As we get close to the officer finally turns to notice us. The fuck? Why is he wearing a suit? I was like picturing like a guy in like a cop uniform, not like a dude in a suit. Also, kind of looks like Freddie Mercury. Excuse me, you can't walk around here, you have to go around. I'm the detective signed to the forest fire case. Show my badge. This is my temporary specialist, Diane Carter. Well, pleased to meet you, ma'am. I'm Officer Romano. Oh, you too. I mean, it's nice to meet you. She dimples at him and he relaxes. So I just had to chase off a couple of hikers. Probably used to smoke in that old shack. Now so Shack's turn to smoke on, eh? Diane manages to laugh at his joke. I don't even make an attempt. Anyone suspicious? Don't think so. Diane starts to move close to the mix of faces her toe sinks into the muddle of slime. Watch your step there, little lady. Like, whatever accent I'm doing is deteriorating by the second. He holds out his hand to her. She hesitates for a moment, then grabs hold of his wrist, using him to brace her movements with a slurping sound. Her foot comes free from the mud. Y'all need to be careful. Let's look, that thing's pretty unstable. You can take a look, but it's not safe to go inside. Anyway, I don't know what you think you're going to find. Team's already been here to take stuff for the lab. Right. She doesn't seem likely to take the lead. I guess I should ask this guy some questions. If I can home in on the right places to press for details, clues may reveal themselves. Hello? Why do I have psychic powers? Hold on. It's always weird to me that, like, VTuber models have, like, the ability to have the nuance of, like, chewing on something. If you're, like, chewing on something and your mouth moves along with it. Really crazy. Technology is fascinating. Lines curve around the hidden eye of enlightenment. Follow directions suggested by the curves to find the eye. Better space lines mean you're further from the goal. What? Well, the forensic team has been gone already. Why are they leaving you on guard? Are you waiting for us? Now I'm watching sight until someone can get in touch with the connie fish and the owners about knocking down that brick. It's a hazard. The department would rather clean the stuff all up and avoid comment like they did with the earlier fires. Since the shack technically had value, they can't move ahead without permission. Doesn't tell anyone I'm sure I can get more. Well, this is a weird way to do it. This is a weird mechanic. Rained last night, didn't it? Shouldn't that have put out the fire? Now what's got going? Hot fire throws off light rain. The hard part is getting one started on wet wood. So they needed an accelerant. Probably. Team found an empty liquor bottle over yonder, which might have worked. Took it to test for prints. Remember a quick clarification for Diane. She's hoping the culprit might have left fingerprints that can be detected in the lab. I know, I watch TV. I shrug and look back at the officer. Do you know what kind of hooch it was? So many bottles of fancy labels with weird pictures. There might be something in Diane's line there. Sorry, you'd have to ask the lab. Well, we can go back to the station later to follow up on that. What else does he know? His dick. Speaking of prints, did the forensic team manage to get any good footprints in the mud? Diane bites her lip and looks down, apparently worried she's stepping on the evidence. No, the gun was too churned up between the rain and the fire response team. They chumped it all over it. This is still burning when they were called out. Oh yeah, it was quite a show. Shack wasn't huge, but it wouldn't send up flames much higher than a simple campfire. With all this mess, you'd think there'd be a whole troop of dancers through here. Dancers? There's no evidence of that, is there? Well, no, it's just a figure of speech. The other ones thought it was funny. Bad jokes stand on the force. What about tire tracks? Only wheels in the mud with the fire trucks. Culprit or culprits must have parked on the road and walked in like we did this morning. Would have been dark and wet, but the shack wouldn't be hard to reach if they already knew it was there. Must have visited the woods before in the daylight. Which doesn't say much. These hikers and campers in these woods all the time and no one watching them. Mostly public land. This time the last fire, or is it a coincidence? Team was here earlier. Did you find any signs of occult connections? Yeah, this is a weird mechanic. This feels like an additional gamification of like just dialogue options. It's weird, but it's interesting. Yeah, you could call it that. Come here, don't touch anything. Following his guidance, we move closer to the burnout shell and peer into the opening that might have once been a door. Got a light. Seeps a flashlight over the interior. It's less of a mess inside than I had anticipated. Since the structure was apparently never intended for modern habitation, it didn't have a complex ceiling full of tiles and insulation to rain down. Instead, what we see on the floor is something very deliberately crafted to be there. What is that? Not the expert, man. I mean, what is that physically? The pattern looks raised. It's not painted on, but I can see it well enough. Some kind of dirt or powder. The team took a sample for testing. Powder, like gunpowder? Well, it didn't go off. Well, the shit didn't fall down, so if no fire ever touched it. But it's still pretty hot in there. Even without a spark, smokeless powder would ignite. I suppose. Somebody obviously took a lot of time trying all those lines. The design means nothing to me, but it's definitely detailed. Diamonds and crows, the stars and crosses. Couldn't be easy to arrange all of that out of powder. They meant for it to burn. Would they leave it that to chance? It might. Depends on what the purpose was. The element of chance and divination is... Ma'am, if you're going to talk about unholy practices, I'd rather you didn't do it here. He gestures toward the pattern. I don't know what devilry that is, but I want it gone before it attracts some kind of demon. Summoning sigil? Dan starts to pull her notebook from her bag and hesitates. Officer Romano, are there any other unusual signs you'd like to show me? It attracts his attention while Diane sketches the strange grid from the shack floor. And then she just summons a demon out of her notebook. After that, we look around the site for a while, but no hidden clues jump out at us. Romano doesn't want us going inside what's left of the shack without protective headgear, and I agree. It hadn't occurred to me to find Diane a helmet. Clearly, Diane thought ahead about something, so she's got a little pocket compass in her hand and is taking readings. I wonder if she's looking for ley lines? Considering Romano, though, I don't ask. She'll tell me later if it's relevant. Once she looks content with her notes, I nod to Romano and leave the shack behind us. We walk back to my car. Squelchy. As we settle into our seats, Diane makes a face. My shoes are covered in mud. I've got clumps up the sides. You're taller than me. How come your feet look fine? I watch my step. I don't want to ruin your floors. Hang on. She does her best to scrape the mud off against the curb. Sorry. Don't worry about it. The car's seen worse. The important thing is that we get to the bottom of this sooner rather than later. We're in a hurry now? And the case was just an unknown perpetrator setting weird little campfires with curiosity, now with the danger. Hold on. There was a stream idea that I had a while back of doing like, because we've had like Nelson has his Denny's and like DJ had Waffle House and stuff. There was a stream idea that I had that was essentially gonna be like a visual like this, and then like I was gonna look for some kind of stock footage, or there was a video I saw on like how to like generate like an infinite like random like background like this, moving background like this in Blender. But this just reminded me of that, because like this is like the exact like visual that I wanted to have, and it would just be like a hangout kind of podcast thing, but it'd be like a road trip thing. I don't know, it's just, I might still do that at some point if I can figure out how to get all the elements together. Pyros, people who get obsessed with watching things burn, they don't stop. It's like an addiction, they always want a bigger, better hit. So far they've stayed out in the woods away from people, but now the next target's probably gonna be bigger. If we don't find the culprit soon, someone could get hurt. Right. So any ideas might be behind this? She puts on her notebook and starts flipping from page to page. What we've seen so far doesn't really conform to that tradition as far as I can tell. Better in the shack has nothing to do with Sanskrit or chakras or any tantric practice. I think he's just. I think the person doing this is just like into occult stuff, but like randomly into occult stuff. So there's no real like actual rhyme or reason to any of this. It's not related to the kinds of symbols that were drawn on the Lucky Penny's window either. So you know how many leads. It's not what I said, it's not a tradition that's been passed down for generations, and it does tell someone about the practitioner. In my estimation, the person behind this most likely falls into one of 3 categories. First is an outsider who doesn't really know a lot about the cult being beyond thinking it's cool, so they pick some symbols at random because of how they look. They're just fooling around. Second is a new age pagan who is trying to build a new tradition through synthesizing different beliefs. Symbols would have meaning to them, but their meanings might be twisted. Third is someone who just wants to cause trouble and suffering and doesn't care about how. Symbols might be chosen at random in order to scare people. You know how uncomfortable most people around here would be with the work of the devil? It's worse than the fire? Hellfire. Still think an outcast is likely the answer, though. Probably a teenager or something who's encountered mystic symbols as part of their hobby and copied them. Punks, gothic, death rockers, metalheads, Dungeons and Dragons, those people dress up as medieval knights and hate each other every Sunday in the park. If we talk to people like that, we might find someone who knows these symbols, or who has a friend who's a little too interested in fires. There's a problem with this plan, which is, we're grown-ups now, and an outsider group is going to tell on their friends into a couple of boring adults. I think she's been spending too much time with small children, damaging her self-image. We're not in high school anymore, except for the sword fighters, you probably couldn't even find these people. Oh, you'd be surprised. Huh? I start the engine. Buckle up, we're going for a ride. Gotta find the LARPers. Get another comic book store. Hold on, I wanna look at this shit. Hold on. I'm gonna save. Oh, this art's really cute. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for now. But, yeah. I'm enjoying this game. It's a little verbose, I would say. I think that's my only issue with it. But yeah. I saved, and then, yeah. Find a right target. How long's been Rummy going? She mending? She's still going? Yeah, let's just raid Rummy. Alright. See you on Tuesday for more fear. Tuesday and Thursday. Just more fear. I might play this like more on the weekends too. We'll see. Alright. See ya.